This I know is true. Peace and contentment, no need for resentment. This I found in you. This I found in you.
It's been a long road coming. It's been a long way going. But guess what? I'm back. They thought they can stop the message when they struck this page. Well, they said if it was child porn, I wouldn't be back on this page again. Look where I'm at. The hate of Dana J is real. Don't let it fool you. The hate of Dana J is real. So let's let them hate. Let's go. Let's do it like this. The way I only know how to do it. You ready? Are y'all ready out there? Here I come. Let's go.
saying it. Please, y'all. It's your boy Papa Dub. Don't be mad at me. Street loose. Yeah. Tried to tell him. Yeah. Goddamn. My lady pregnant again. But this time she pregnant with twins. Another collection plate. Come on, preacher, that's kind of strange. I'm sorry, God, I need that little change. I gotta do a couple things. Cause that stimulus, it ain't stimulate. Tax time, the mama got pissed and won't let them claim the baby. They shooting again. These just crazy, they need some help. Man, they shot him in the hip. He fell out and shitted on himself. My cousin Paul called Fed time up the road, hit a whole dime. He used to call home. I heard niggas crying in the background, saying to myself, this ain't how we supposed to live. Turn on Facebook, man, another bitch that got killed. For the love at? My dog losing weight out here smoking cocaine cigarettes. 8 years old, shot in the head, had nothing to do with that. That baby innocent. Go get George Zimmerman if y'all just wanna kill a bitch. That's why I'm asking Jesus. Please tell me why you leave us. Tell me why you leave. These people wanna dead. On the internet capping, that shit is fake, bro. In the mirror showing your ass, putting no makeup. Man, y'all better wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Man, y'all better wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Man, y'all better wake up.
What you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We have tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass down, gotta make it last now. Girl, I'm so thin, I'ma beat it up. No, try to say stop when the beat say go. There you go again, that voice is smooth. Watch you make your girlfriend go. Come on, come on, come on. You've been waiting patiently, wondering when and where I be. The cousin rockets in the industry, making this so she can't.
them bloggers out there that think they got some shit going on, yo, all of y'all need to unsubscribe from them motherfuckers and come over here to the experience. The experience is what's gonna hold y'all down. Let's keep it real. Woo! I had a traumatic 24 hours. I'm rejuvenated. I woke up and I seen an email. I'm back. I thought I had child pornography going on. The same thing, the government lied and said R. Kelly had them tapes. Now I'm gonna pop my shit. I told y'all I'll be back. They was like, nuh-uh, he got child pornography, his channel gone, this and this and this and this. I told y'all this channel was going to sleep for 7 days. 7 days as they did the investigation. So what I say is all them people that lies out there that can't give y'all the truth about what's really going on, good, bad, or difference, unsubscribe to them pages. Come over to the Dana J Experience. I will be changing the name. No more Dana J Open Talks. As of tonight, it will be the Dana J Experience. Because to be over here is to experience the truth. Good, bad, or indifferent. And this channel is not just a channel of R. Kelly. Yes, we cover the topic of R. Kelly because I know him personally. And I'm the only one on YouTube that knows him personally other than a certain other people. But however, while other people spread lies, we spread truth. And I say that gracefully, openly, proudly, and I boast that if you're not part of the dream team, guess what? You're asleep because you're not part of the greatest team and the greatest show on earth, led by yours truly, the official Dana J. So if you're over here for the first time, I want to welcome all visitors to the Dana J Experience. You never know what you're going to get. Every day is something different. Every day is something different. The channel that you are watching me on, the Dana J Open Talks, that will be changed as of today. It will be an overhaul going on. That channel, until I get my main channel back, will be my channel where I do where I do like my I don't know. I gotta think about that. Because I have a channel for gospel, have a channel for talking trash. That channel is just a channel. This will be the Dana J Experience. That what my main channel will be official Dana J. I'm going to send an email over to YouTube one last time today. And I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on because I've been on investigation now for 5 months. All of the strikes are gone. What's the hold up? Give me my channel. I need my content. I guess YouTube know that I'm leaving YouTube. The king of YouTube is leaving YouTube because I have surpassed and outgrown YouTube. I have built a lot of people chat pages and they have 3,000 to 4,000. And I'm talking about people who ain't buy nobody, who ain't buy no subscribers. You know, I've built a lot of channels, built a lot of pages. And let's just look at it. If all them pages that I never built, let's say it this way, if I would have never built them channels, all them subs would have been here. So when people say you only got 2,000 here and 4,000 on your main channel and 2,000 there, and listen, no channel I touch have under 1,100. Think about it. Any channel that talks about me have over 2,000. Hell, you just had a bigger channel, a bigger sweet channel try to come for me that had 8,000 followers. and got 1,000 people in the chat when you talk about me. But when you're not talking about me, you only got 350. Your number's not adding up. How many people did you buy? And don't think I'm gonna let you off the hook because I'm gonna spin the block on your tail one more again. I think the people need to know who you really are. I just ain't have time to give you energy. However, today was supposed to have been a trial, was supposed to have been a court day for R. Kelly alone. But what y'all don't know is it's been fighting going on through the internet about the courtroom. And guess who got the paperwork? I do. Guess who won't read all 34 pages? I am. I've been scouring around YouTube today all day, just looking to see what I can come across. And everybody did. So you can expect when Dana go off, every channel going to start lighting up and going live. They probably getting together now. Girl, that nigga back on his main. He back on his second backup page. Oh my God. Oh my God. He got the page back. Oh my God. Well, you heard what Busta Rhymes told him. Busta Rhymes in the house. Oh my God. Danger. Boo-doo-doo. Boo-doo. Boop, boop, boop. Doo-doo. I see Dana J got the head nod, all incorrect. Woo-ha! Got you all in check. So look, let's get into it, man. We ain't gonna play with them boys no more. Even though when y'all see the replay of this, those two songs that I played, the opening, Love Me or Hate Me, you won't hear that. And I Should Be, you won't hear that. Why? Because YouTube like striking people for music. So I'm gonna take those things out and I'm gonna change it with something else. And I gotta do some things that I'm gonna do today. I gotta re-enlist my license as far as with music on YouTube. There's so much you gotta do. When you're doing things the right way, it seems so hard. It do. But when you're doing the wrong things, it seems so easy. Shout out to everybody that's here. Prima Donna, Miss Melinda, Judah J, Ann Huff, Carmel, Belinda, Styled by Her Meekness, Big Vile Opinion. You know what I mean? Big Vile Opinion. He said Dream Team has not been dead on YouTube. Hell no. Carmel, A.L. Sterling, Chris Starry, Big Willie, Grandma Jenna, Sharon Bell. Middle T. Sharice Clark, what's going on? What's going on? B. White. B. White. Stephanie Holloway. Hey. Leanne. What up, Leanne? What up, Angela? What up, Angela? That's all it is. They don't want the truth out there. Now, Taylor, what's going on? Lord Titi. Little Titi. What up, Toy? Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. Miss Darlene, what's going on? Ashley Davis, what's going on? See, I don't like calling names because I'm going to forget somebody. Look, if I forgot you, just know that I ain't forget you. If you hear, you hear. Georgia Girl, all the content creators of the Dream Team. Brooke, Senator Sane, Big By Opinion, Georgia Girl, Fantasia, Skylight, Sky Zone, Levi for Kelly. Sheesh. Alicia. Look, don't forget to go to Alicia TV Podcast and hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. That's all you gotta do is hit that like. Dear Yvette Says, don't forget that one. Don't forget the other one. What's the new one? Shoot. Oh man, I forgot the new one. I gotta get him over here so that way he can introduce himself. Okay, but he's over in the UK. And and he got a channel fighting cyberbullying. Y'all seen him in the chat when I was on the other page, but let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. Shout out to everybody that's doing something that's working. Get that out the way. Get that out the way and get that out the way. So let's see. Which one is this? Is this? Okay, that's the last one. Nope, stop sharing that one. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Let's go. Okay. This is weird. Okay. It's not showing up. Nope. It's not the one I want. Nope. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Don't start tripping now. That's the one with 10 pages. Okay. This is the one with 24. It's the one with 1. Okay. 10. 1. I'm getting these drawings for y'all. It gotta be that one. Okay, that's a double share. There we go. Got it. Let's go. If we're going to talk about it, we're going to do it. Let's go. All right. United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, a.k.a. R. Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton Brown, a.k.a. June Brown. Government's response to defendants' motions for judgment of acquittal at conclusion of government's evidence. The United States of America, by and through its attorney, John R. Losh Jr., United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, respectfully submits this consolidated response. Consolidated response in opposition to the post-trial motions filed by defendants Robert Sylvester Kelly, R-294, Daryl McDavid, 293, and Milton June Brown, R-292. The government has presented sufficient evidence for a rational jury to convict each of the 3 named defendants on each of the 13 counts in the superseding indictment. What? I know the government don't believe this. The government proved that defendant Kelly used a minor, Jane, to engage in sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of producing video 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you couldn't produce video 1, 2, 3, or 4. So how did y'all prove that? And that each of these 4 depictions of child pornography actually traveled in interstate commerce. The government proved that defendant Kelly enticed 5 minors to engage in unlawful sexual conduct using a facility or means of interstate commerce based on the testimony of Jane, Nia, Pauline, and Tracy. What? The government proved that all 3 defendants conspired to receive child pornography videos and that defendants McDavid and Kelly actually received child pornography videos from Keith Morrell and Charles Freeman. Hold on. Wait. What up, Ben? Wait a minute. I know I didn't read this right. Wait a minute. Hey, can y'all hear me well? Because this is beyond bull crap to me. I got to go back. The government has presented sufficient evidence for a rational jury to convict each of the 3 named defendants on each of the 13 counts in the superseding indictment. The government proved that defendant Kelly used a minor, Jane, to engage in sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of producing video 1, video 2, video 3, and video 4. Stop. And they didn't produce video 1, video 2, video 3, nor video 4. So how did they prove their point? And that each of these 4 depictions of child pornography actually traveled in interstate commerce. The government proved that defendant Kelly enticed 5 minors to engage in unlawful sexual conduct using a facility or means of interstate commerce based on the testimony of Jane, Nia, Pauline, and Tracy. Stop. And none of them knew their actual age. I refuse to believe that this dude typed this much of bull crap to the judge. I refuse to believe this. Hey, Big Baby Purnell. The government proved that all 3 defendants conspired to receive child pornography videos, that the defendants McDavid and Kelly actually received child pornography videos from Keith Morrell and Charles Freeman. Well, Keith said it wasn't child pornography. It was just 2 consensual adults with Kelly. Yo. Yo, I know I'm not reading this. Big Willie. I know I'm not reading this. And the government proved that defendants Kelly and McDavid conspired to obstruct justice in an effort to cover up Kelly's illicit sexual contacts with minors and his creation of child pornography. How? Despite this, each of the 3 defendants moved under Rule 29 for a judgment of acquittal. The defendant's motion should be denied for the reasons set forth below. The charges. The superseding indictment alleges that from approximately 1996 to 2001, Robert Sylvester Kelly engaged in unlawful sexual conduct with minors, including minors referred to in the indictment as minor 1 Jane. That proved to be a setup by the government. Minor 3 Nia. That proved to be a lie. Minor 4 Tracy. That proved to be a lie. Minor 5 Pauline. That definitely proved to be a lie. And minor 6 Brittany. She didn't show up. So how are you trying to keep going with this as part of this abuse? What abuse? Kelly recorded himself engaged in sexually explicit conduct with minors on videotape. How? Can y'all prove that? Where are the videotapes? Y'all chose not to put it in play. Y'all said y'all don't even have the accurate tapes. Y'all said y'all don't even have the proof. What up, Sky? Y'all said that y'all don't even have the proof. Like, yo, this is bull Shiznit. According to the indictment, Daryl McDavid, who worked as Kelly's accountant and business manager from approximately 1991 until 2004, and others knew of Kelly's unlawful sexual contacts with minors. Y'all haven't proved that anybody was a minor. Everybody was of age. Come on, bro. McDavid conspired with Kelly and with others to protect Kelly from allegations of child sexual abuse and exploitation, including by inter alia, concealing evidence and pressuring others to do so, and paying others to collect and return incriminating videotapes. A videotape of his wife, him, and somebody of age? Yo, I'm convinced if the government is really going this far, it's somebody else at play that want Kelly out the way. Based on this conduct, McDavid and Kelly and another of Kelly's employees, Milton June Brown, are charged in this case with federal offenses, including sexual exploitation of a minor, Kelly, conspiracy to obstruct justice, McDavid and Kelly, conspiracy to receive child pornography, Kelly, McDavid, and Brown, receipt of child pornography, Kelly and McDavid, and enticement of minors to engage in unlawful sexual conduct, Kelly. That has all been proven by your witnesses that none of that is true. The case proceeds to trial beginning on August 15th, 2022, and the government rests this case in chief on August 30th, 2022. Thereafter, all three defendants filed motions for judgment of acquittal under Fed Art Crim P29A. Argument. Rule 29A provides that after the government closes its evidence, or after the close of all the evidence, the court on the defendant's motion must enter a judgment of acquittal of any offense for which the evidence is insufficient to sustain a conviction. In reviewing the evidence for purposes of determining a motion for judgment of acquittal, the court does not weigh the evidence or assesses the credibility of witnesses. Then who do then? If the court does not weigh the evidence or assesses the credibility of witnesses, then who do? Because from what I was being told in court, everybody was asleep. Everybody was laughing at y'all, the government. Instead, the court must bear in mind that it is the exclusive function of the jury to determine the credibility of witnesses, resolve evidentiary conflicts, and draw reasonable inferences. Are you serious? You really want? Come on, yo. You really want the jury to resolve this when they already have resolved it? And this person is not in court. He's just going back and going off of what's being told to him by the people that's prosecuting the case. He's the head prosecutor. He will never be in court. The government presented evidence sufficient to sustain convictions on Kelly on counts 1 through 4. What? Counts 1 through 4 charged that Kelly did knowingly employ, use, persuade, induce, entice, and coerce a minor, namely minor one Jane, to engage in sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of producing a visual depiction of such conduct in violation of 18 U.S.C. 2251A. How? In order to sustain a conviction of Kelly on each these counts, the government must prove: 1, at the time Jane was under the age of 18 years old. Y'all couldn't prove that. 2, Kelly, for the purpose of producing a visual depiction of such conduct, employed, used, persuaded, or coerced Jane to take part in sexually explicit conduct. Y'all couldn't prove that. In the manner described in the particular count. Y'all couldn't prove that. And 3, the visual depiction was mailed or actually transported across state lines or in foreign commerce. Wait a minute. The visual depiction. What was it? The original video? No, it wasn't. So how can you say a visual depiction if it wasn't the original video? Y'all put stuff together. Kelly argues that the government failed to present sufficient evidence for a rational jury to convict of counts 1 through 4, and that 1, the evidence of inducement and enticement was weak. 2, the evidence failed to show that Kelly acted for the purpose of producing the visual depiction. And 3, the evidence failed to show that Kelly knew or had reason to know that any of the visual depictions charged and counts 1 through 4 would be transported in interstate and foreign commerce. None of Kelly's arguments has any merit. Why don't it? Why don't it? Section 2251A provides any person who employs, uses, persuades, induces, entices, or coerces any minor to engage in, or who has a minor assists any other person to engage in. So what they doing is they saying that no matter what Rashona said, she was a minor. Okay, government, you can't make nobody a minor that wasn't a minor when they had sex with somebody. Make it make sense. You don't know when they had sex. Y'all out here forcing people to do stuff that they really don't want to do. So you saying none of Kelly's arguments have any merit. Okay. The government presented ample evidence showing that Kelly knowingly employed, used, persuaded, induced, enticed, and coerced Jane to engage in sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of producing video 1, 2, 3, and 4, as Jane testified. And the video clip shown to the jury reflected Kelly engaged her in sex acts. Okay, do you know if it was her? Do you know if that's the same video, but that y'all took clips from? If y'all took clips from the video, where's the actual video? See, this is what I mean when I say it don't make sense. They took clips from a video that they can't even find. And right, and the government cannot authenticate the tape. So if you can't authenticate it, you got to throw it away. As Jane testified and the video clip shown to the jury reflected, Kelly engaged her in sex acts, knowing that he was recording them, specifically for the purpose of making a visual depiction of them. Jane testified that the first time Kelly recorded Jane engaged in sexually explicit conduct, she saw Kelly set up the camcorder, arrange the lighting, and position the camera to get certain angles. Stop. Jane also testified that she saw the video camera while video 1, video 2, and video 3 were being recorded. Can I ask you a question? Nope. Let me read a little more. Lisa Van Allen also testified that she saw the video camera being set up while video 4 was being recorded. Ms. Van Allen also testified that she saw Kelly adjust and check on the camera while video 4 was being recorded. Jane testified that she would say things while Kelly was recording their sexual activity because Kelly wanted her to say those things for the camera. Sometimes the sex acts in which Kelly engaged Jane were simulated for purposes of the camera. Specifically, Jane testified that she did not have sexual intercourse with Kelly until she was 15 years old. You're a goddamn lie. You said 14. The government said 14. Therefore, any visual depictions of intercourse between her and Kelly when she was 14 years old were simulated. What? Hold on. Hold on. This is why they hate me. That's why they hate me. Now, listen to this line starting right here. Specifically, Jane testified that she did not have sexual intercourse with Kelly until she was 15 years old. Therefore, any visual depictions of intercourse between her and Kelly when she was 14 years old were simulated. Okay. So now the government telling on themselves, and they don't think nobody's smart enough to catch that shit. So let's look up the definition of simulated. Simulated definition: manufactured and limitation of some other material, of a motion to pretend or feign, imitating the conditions of something, especially as a training exercise. I have a question. So y'all simulated the fact that she had sex with Kelly when she was 14 just to try to bring charges. No, you cannot manufacture nothing. You cannot manufacture nothing. If it didn't happen, you can't manufacture it. So here it go right here. Manufactured and an imitation of some other material. You cannot manufacture a sex act to charge a man when it didn't happen at that time. And the government just pointed out in their own words, the government just pointed out in their own words that any visual depictions of intercourse between her and Kelly when she was 14 years old were simulated. AKA, what they're saying is, therefore, any visual depictions of intercourse between her and Kelly when she was 14 years old were manufactured. Jane was 14 years old in video 1, video 2, and video 3. So wait a minute. She testified that she didn't have sex until 15. So how in 14 Rob was having sex in video 1, video 2, and video 3 with Jane? Make that make sense. If simulated means manufactured in imitation of some other material, how Jane was 14 and had sex with Rob in video 1, video 2, and video 3 when she claimed she ain't have sex until she was 15? I need somebody to answer that. What up, Rel? I need somebody to answer that. Gospel Glam, what's up? Nisi69, what's going on? I need somebody to answer that. Alicia, what's going on? Toy, what's going on? The judge has to know. Oh, yeah. I need somebody to answer that, though. Look, so somebody testified that in video 3 that she and Kelly were simulating sexual intercourse. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. This is just the background that I'm skipping over because it's a lot. And they want people to believe that their witnesses were credible. This is about Daryl McDavid. This is crazy. A government's evidence was sufficient to establish a conspiracy to falsify, destroy, or conceal records, documents, and tangible objects. What? Contrary to defendants' contention, visual depictions of child pornography stored on videotape are tangible objects within the meaning of 1519. See United States versus Atkinson. Holding tangible objects within the meaning of 1519 must be in the nature of records and documents, and indicating that they would include magnetic, optical, digital, and other electronic storage devices, citing United States Sentencing Commission Guidelines Manual. Comment. Here, the evidence showed defendants conspired to recover and conceal child pornography stored on VHS tapes for purposes of hiding Kelly's conduct from others, including state and federal law enforcement authorities. What? Silky Smooth, what's going on, Silk? Moreover, police reports and other reports of interview prepared by law enforcement authorities and attorneys, as well as transcripts of grand jury and other official proceedings, constitute records and documents. And defendants conspired to cause victims to witnesses to make false statements, which they understood would be documented in such records that could be and in fact have been used to obstruct, impede, and influence both criminal and civil actions against Kelly. I have a question. If everybody in a grand jury was lying, right? So you mean to tell me Kelly only obstructed, allegedly, 2 people in a grand jury, but everybody in a grand jury came up to be liars? So how's that obstruction if everybody lied? Why didn't everybody say Kelly told him to do it? Make this make sense? I'm not understanding this. Such conduct falls within 1915's prohibition against falsifying and making a false entry in any record, document, or tangible object as interpreted by the Supreme Court in Yates, and defendants offer no legal authority to the contrary. What? You know what? The government don't want to look stupid. At the time of the settlement agreement, Kelly and McDavid also executed a separate confidentiality agreement, which contained additional provisions. Specifically, the confidential agreement provided that McDavid agrees to keep strictly confidential all knowledge and information, either personal or professional, regarding R. Kelly, Bass, touring, and publishing. So now they're trying to get McDavid to flip. I told y'all that's what they're going to try to do. McDavid acknowledged that all information derived from his relationship with Kelly is confidential, and agree that he shall not engage in any publication or exploitation of any Kelly related content or material in the media, whether now known or hereafter developed. After Kelly failed to make the monthly payments to McDavid under the settlement agreement, McDavid filed a lawsuit against Kelly alleging breach of contract. Kelly and McDavid argued that these payments had nothing to do with the conspiracy, but like the payments Kelly continued to make to Jane, a rational jury could infer that the payments were made to keep McDavid from revealing all the information he had gained over the years, including his role as prosecutor of Kelly's assets and reputation. The evidence showed Kelly and McDavid acted with the intent to obstruct justice. Defendants argued that there's no evidence to support the inference that they took actions to conceal or falsify records, documents, and tangible objects with intent to obstruct, impede, or influence a matter within the jurisdiction of a federal agency. The evidence is more than sufficient to permit the jury to infer otherwise, given the multitude of allegations against Kelly. as well as the multiple investigations to which he was subject. A rational juror could infer that defendants could anticipate that a federal investigation and or prosecution was a realistic probability. That is even more true given that, as Lisa Van Allen testified, she disclosed as part as the court. She disclosed as part as of the state trial in 2008 that she had received immunity from federal authorities. Those are the government arguments. Charles Freeman to receive. Evidence in trial show each of those videos depicted Jane engaged in sex. So here's the thing. How you gonna say Jane engaged in sex at 14 when she told y'all she ain't have sex with him at 14? This is not making sense. There's not enough evidence there. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open the panel. I'm gonna open the panel. Right? I want y'all to come up and tell me if there's enough evidence to continue this trial. And if it is, tell me why you think so. If it's not, tell me why you think so. That goddamn link is going to be pinned to the top of the chat box. So hit the link and come on up. This is crazy. And Morrell testified that he flew from Kansas City to Chicago with a snippet of video 4 in his possession. Van Allen and Morrell both testified that they met with Brown and McDavid. So what that got to do with anything? Like, man, come on, bro. So the government just pretty much trying to sustain the phone sex conversation, then graduate into physical touching. Nia testified that Kelly used the telephone to induce her to travel to Minnesota on an airplane. What? A means of interstate commerce where he then engaged in criminal sexual behavior with her in a hotel room, which also affects interstate commerce. While in a hotel room with his penis out masturbating, Kelly asked Nia to visit him in Chicago from Atlanta. So y'all don't believe what a Rob say. Y'all just believe what these chicks say. Kelly then spoke to Nia on the phone after she had returned to Atlanta from Minnesota, and again asked Nia to travel in interstate commerce to Chicago, where he then engaged in criminal sexual behavior with Nia. This is crazy. Accordingly, based on the evidence presented by the jury, a rational jury could find Kelly guilty on counts 9 through 13 beyond a reasonable doubt, and the count should therefore be submitted to the jury. Wait. You have 1 through 13. But you just submitted that Kelly can be found Wait a minute. 1 through 8 were the most serious crimes ever. One through 8 is what this trial is about. But you your joint by saying, accordingly, based on the evidence presented by the jury, a rational jury could find Kelly guilty on counts 9 through 13 beyond a reasonable doubt, and the count should therefore be submitted to the jury. What about counts 1 through 8? So, what's this nigga name? So, John R. Losh, you're admitting that 1 through 8, which could keep Kelly in jail for 110 years, 1 through 8, that he's not guilty of that. But you sitting up here talking about, while in the hotel room with his penis out masturbating, Kelly asked Nia to visit him in Chicago from Atlanta. Kelly then spoke to Nia on the phone after she had returned to Atlanta from Minnesota, and again asked Nia to travel in interstate commerce to Chicago, where he then engaged in criminal sexual behavior with Nia. Similarly, Kelly enticed Tracy to visit him in a hotel room at the Westin, where he then had sex with her as a minor. Tracy also testified about using the phones to communicate with Kelly. Pauline testified that she would regularly call Kelly at Chicago Track Studio using the phone to meet up with him, and that she would regularly engage in sex acts with Kelly thereafter. Pauline testified that she had sex with Jane, defendant, and Brittany, and defendant after using the phone to contact Kelly, and also had sex with Jane and defendant on his tour bus, a facility of interstate commerce. But then you come back and follow up and say, accordingly, based on the evidence presented by the jury, a rational jury could find Kelly guilty of counts 9 through 13 beyond a reasonable doubt, and the count should therefore be submitted to the jury. What about counts 1 through 8? Counts 9 through 13 are misdemeanors. So you're even telling the people that you know that 1 through 8 is trash, that we can't get them on that. And 1 through 8 was Rashona, her mama, the sex tape. So now you playing a witch hunt. If we can't get them on one thing, at least we can get them on something. Stop. When you first started off, you said, John R. Losh, when you first started, you said you respectfully submits this consolidated response in opposition to the post-trial motions filed by the defendants Robert Sylvester Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton June Brown. The government has presented sufficient evidence for a rational jury to convict each of the 3 named defendants on each of the 13 counts. You said this. You said this. The government has presented sufficient evidence. Joined. Who joined? Oh, Malik. Yo. Okay, when Malik get ready here, jump in. But wait, you said the government has presented sufficient evidence for a rational jury to convict each of the 3 named defendants on each of the 13 counts in the superseding indictment. That's what you said in the beginning. But then in the end, you say, accordingly, based on the evidence presented by the jury, and the jury ain't present no evidence, a rational jury could find Kelly guilty of counts 9 through 13. I'm lost. And Malik. Oh, he gone. I'm lost. It's either they guilty on all or they guilty on none. Or they not guilty on none. I'm sorry. I'm lost. Prima said that's how the feds work. Any charge will do so their conviction rate stay high. Well, I'm lost. I mean, their conviction rate's trash. Or in falsifying legal documents, right? You got to quit all of them. I'm totally lost and I'm disappointed. I'm gonna tell you why I'm disappointed. This shows laziness. Looks like they plugged in numbers and names. Right. I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm disappointed. Because this just shows that the government that you pay your taxes to, and that's why I keep telling you taxes are not mandatory. But the government that you pay your taxes to will turn around and weaponize their people to come against you. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Looking like Sherman Hemsley talking all weird. That's what I'm starting to do. Glasses and all. Peace, y'all. I'm just walking in. So what did I miss out on? Hey, Derm. Man, the government joined. The government on some BS. Yo.
Hey, man, it looks like they just trying to throw something to the wall and see if it sticks.
Well, check this out. Because I don't want to. John R. Losh Jr., he's the head United States attorney, right? And here are the people that's prosecuting Robert right here. Janice Apatang, Elizabeth R. Pozzolo, Jason A. Julian, and Bryant Williamson, right? So if they trying to throw something to try to make it stick, why would you contradict your whole 24 pages? Where did Malik go? Man. Come on, man. I want to have a conversation. I want to get it going. I just don't understand. Don't forget, go follow Alicia Keeping It Real TV. I mean, y'all holding this man for what?
Opinions joined.
Okay. Bye.
What up, bro?
Man, I'm not understanding this. You do 24 pages of contradicting yourself.
Everything, bro. How can you say this man sent how you gonna say he was the reason these tapes travel when you got one of your key witnesses testify saying she mailed the tape?
Facts.
You got one of your key witnesses saying she mailed the tape. You got another of your witnesses saying she was 16 in 1999, and then 2001 she was 21.
Huh?
You didn't see that, Tracy?
What happened?
She was supposed to be 16 in 99, and then she sued R. Kelly in 2001, and she said she was 21.
Huh?
Man, how you ain't saw that yet, man?
How you 16 and 99 but 21 and what?
2001. I thought you would have saw that by now, man.
Yo, this is weird. Come back up, Malik.
Also, like last night, I broke down like with the chick Nia saying she traveled at 15 Yeah, you can travel without an ID, but somebody got to verify you.
In order to travel without an ID, like you said, somebody with an ID got to verify you and check you in.
Right. He got to receive you when you get to where you going.
All right, Wally.
You just ain't walked in no airport and went got gave the people a code and just went on about your business. Nah.
Hey, bless one. I don't have to look at Big Vibe video. I broke it down first. But I always check out Big Vibe video. I'm always over there. Even when you think I'm not there, I'm there.
Yeah, but you had Tracy, the woman who say she graduated. She say she finished. She was 16 when she finished at the school at Richard East High School, and but she could add from 1999 to 2001. Wow. You would think a person to graduate high school at 16, they would have to be smart, right?
They got to be smart as a whip.
But back to the tapes, R. Kelly, and then if you listen to the testimony, they contacted him about them having a tape. He didn't contact them and ask them did they have a tape.
Yo, the government.
Right now, they done stuck their foot in their mouth, bro. All their witnesses turned bad. Like the only good witness they had that sounded believable was Keith, but it was still criminal activity though. But he just told everything went down.
And how it went down.
Lisa never got threatened. She got mad because she failed a lot of tests, so she didn't get no money. The whole reason why the man was trying to get the tape back was simply because of his wife was on the tape. Jane mama say she wasn't in the hotel when they met with R. Kelly and McDavid. But Jane said she was. The mama say she wasn't. Which one was? Jane say he confessed to the family that he had been dealing with her, but the mama say he never told them nothing like that.
Which one do we believe?
Then they say the tape depicted. Now, I no lie, bro. This is what I was asking some people this, over the last couple of days, like people that I know personally, like, people from hearing about this tape back in the day. I say if somebody was on that tape saying this 14-year-old, this 14-year-old, that would have been one of the most important things talked about in the streets. But you never heard nothing like that in the streets. All you heard about was this money being this money being handed over to the girl and the peeing on the girl. You never heard nothing about this. Nobody on the tape saying this 14-year-old, none of that shit.
Right. You're right.
These people, right? Then they come to court with 3 tapes. Then they claim they got 4. They claim they had 5 witnesses, 5 people that there was assaulted, but they didn't show up for 4. Like these people just, man, they just wasted the court time and money, man.
Wow. And then check this out. I'm gonna put this out there. Look, somebody motion got struck. I think the government put in 295 and 296 because there's no 295 or 296 on a docket now. So it says this docket entry was made by the clerk on Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. Minute entry before the Honorable Harry D. Leavenworth, docket entry number 295 is hereby stricken as duplicative to docket entry number 296. Mailed notion Mafe.
So what that mean? They entered the same document twice?
More than likely, I don't know who did that, because if Robert number is 299, so it had to be 299. This is 278. I meant 298, and the other one was 296. No, 299, 298, and 297. So that might have been Daryl McDavid and June Brown joint. Their motions might have been struck from the docket. Because they all got the same docket. I mean, they all had the same thing.
Same motion. They all had the same motion.
Right.
Yeah. It makes sense. But
I got
yeah, man. Prosecution, man. I can't believe that they even regurgitate half this stuff that we had to listen to for 2 weeks and try to make an argument for it. Like,
right.
Well, hey, I look at it like this though. Depending whatever the judge decision may be, it's only gonna get worse for them because the witnesses that the defense got coming up is only gonna expose the corruption within the Cook County prosecutor office.
Right. So,
I mean, if they want to stop the bleeding right now, the best is lay down, man. Because Miss Crew, what you think she gonna do? She gonna throw Cook County on Kim Fox under the bus?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Miss Cruel need to be thrown under the bus.
Right.
And she need to be on the witness stand.
That's what they say. They see the potential witnesses if the defense have to, come with with their case. I seen it was allegedly though they had Cruel, Jim Derogatis, and it was one other name. They said potentially McDavid. His lawyer said that he will be taking the stand. But
Rocking with the Truth said, "Hey Dana and chat, if none of this was true, the government wouldn't have been able to bring charges. We have standards with everything, and sleeping with minors is illegal. FCPA -bribery."
Not true.
Wait. Niecy said, "Truth, don't bring your ass over here."
Right. I think you're gonna see up and say none of it was true. They wouldn't be. They bring charges. What they say they can indict a ham sandwich, right? Ain't that what your boy Rose said, Dan?
You know how Rose said. Man.
Rose said they can indict a ham sandwich.
Yo, when I finish this live, right? You need to come on Rumble, yo. Somebody else done came back from the dead, bro.
Yeah.
That's two. Robin Williams came back, and now John McAfee is alive.
This shit. It ain't the type of tea I like.
Bro, you talking about somebody scared? I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to tap out of this one. Yo, John McAfee. Do you know what's about to go down?
I'm gonna create me a Rumble account.
Join me on Rumble tonight, man. Join me on Rumble tonight, man. Join me on Rumble tonight, man. This is yo. This is about to be next level demonic, bro. I ain't gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but yo, I'm just, bro.
It's crazy, man. I heard from my boy Glenn. You know, he ain't worked. He ain't worked here at this job in about 7-8 months. But he called me last night. They let Glenn go for some BS reason. You know, with these, this job that I. He said something to one of the workers about the work. What's up?
Okay, I was making sure I can hear you. Go ahead, say what you say.
I was just saying they let my boy Glenn go about 7 months ago, but he called me last night talking about, we were talking about, what went on with that illegal raid, search and seizure. But we'll talk about that offline.
Joined.
Offline.
I can hear you, bro. So what you say?
I said I'll hit you up offline and talk about that.
Oh yeah, but I'm going live on Rumble though.
I'll hit you up offline and talk about that. Oh yeah, but I'm going live on Rumble though.
That's gonna leave with that Parker brother computer.
Oh yeah, but I'm going live on Rumble though. That's gonna leave with that Parker brother computer.
Yo, I got an echo.
I echo your whole playback plan.
The echo, I gotta go. I echo your whole playback plan. The echo, I gotta go.
That's better.
Yeah, man, that's better. That's better. That's better.
Hey, Vaughn, watch your mouth, man. I can't afford that top-notch stuff like you got over there.
But that wasn't Vibe. That was Dana.
I'm talking to both of you who hang with the plug. I ain't got that kind of money y'all got over there hanging with the peoples out there. With the
Man, and you got a whole household and everything in your house is Apple. Don't try it.
Look, man. I mean, I think they really trying to just throw something at the wall here in this case. Because to be perfectly honest, once they got the situation in New York, they just gonna probably lay back, man. They already got the RICO. They just throwing stuff at the wall at this point. When something stick it, don't it don't.
Nah, but you can't do that, man. That's somebody's life in the balance, man.
We not saying what you can do. We just saying what they doing. And Va, when that video came out in 2001, 2002, that was the biggest talk of the streets. I don't know about the streets in Texas, but in B-more, that was the biggest talk of the streets.
What about the alleged R. Kelly tape that we found out wasn't him?
Yeah, well, look, and what the fact that the young lady was able to do, like how she was, you know what I mean? That was like, yo, look, you know what I mean?
Yo, can I even show like the picture? His leg is gone.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it was the talk of the streets because she was, you know what I mean? That's a Baltimore thing if you don't know what you know what I mean, eh?
I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh, man.
Hey, Michelle, I got it. Hold on, Michelle, I got it. I'm gonna play it actually.
The video?
Nah, heck no. Nah, Greenberg was talking and yeah. That's what I like about over here. Everybody, when they get anxious, they just be like, yo, like, hold on, calm down. I got it.
You ready to play it?
Yeah, I'm about to play it.
I need to ask you a question in a minute though.
Holler at me.
So
shoot it.
This can go to the panel too. I really need some input on this. So
shoot it.
The day I'm picking my man up from school.
Oh Jesus.
So he yell out. And he talking to somebody on the little game joint. He say, yeah, what up, dummy? So I say, huh? He say, what up, dummy?
Okay.
So I say, oh, did you just call that man a dummy? He say, yeah, man, you know, it's a Baltimore thing. It's a term of endearment. I say, well, okay, it's not a term of endearment. And just because it's a Baltimore thing don't make it right. So he began to sit there. So imagine my little 7-year-old sitting here thinking he's a smart guy. Man, that's what they do in Baltimore. So I say, okay. So I say, hey, Siri, what's the definition of dummy? So Siri is reading off the definition of dummy. So he says, well, Dad, it's not like he's calling me dummy as if I'm a stupid idiot. I say, see, that make it even more bad because you know what the definition of dummy is. But yet you still like to be called dummy and call people dummy? Well, it's a Baltimore thing. So I said to him, if you call him or I hear you call somebody dummy, I'm going to lump you upside your head. It's a worldwide dad thing. Under no circumstances is the term dummy and term of endearment. So his mother chimes in, well, what about the N-word? You too, Brainiac, Miss Dumbbell. That's not a term of endearment either.
Wait. Let me kill this before they even get started. Because you know, when she hear that, she go, drop the link. Look, y'all two can't have divorce court today.
Oh, no, it's not a divorce court thing. The thing is, just because something is said in a particular territory doesn't make it right.
That's true.
And just because people say the word and you think it's or they're saying it in the word of like what's up, doesn't make it a term of endearment. It's still a degrading word.
See, I get where you coming from, right? I see where you coming from. But I see where you coming from. And I also see where your man coming from. I see where Brooke coming from. Now, let me break it down. You're absolutely right. That's just like when we used to walk up the street like, yo, what's up, nigga? Oh, what's up, my nigga? Let me say it this way. Every demographic have their own slang word. And every class, I'm not gonna say class level, but every age bracket have their own class level. I mean, have their own word level. Their level now is, and the key phrase for them is dummy. And the key phrase for us was nigga. And the key phrase for the ones older than us and was jitterbug. So you see, they using everything different. But that is a degrading word. Be like, yo, what's up, dummy? Hey, yo, what's up, dummy? Yo, we know what that means. Well, but they think it's something nice. Just like with us. When we used to come up the street, oh, what's up, nigga? And people be like, huh? And the older folks be like, yo, that's a negative word. And we be like, man, look, that's us. You feel me?
Well, we didn't use the N-word.
Who?
See, when I grew up, it was either what's up, son, or peace, God, what's the day's mathematics?
You is not going to sit here and act like you have been always in that what's up, son, and peace, God era. Don't try it, Malik. You know as well as I know.
Hold check. You got to remember, it's an 8-year gap between me and you.
But you got to.
So tread the waters, grasshopper. Tread the waters thin, grasshopper.
See, here you go. I proved my point.
We didn't use the word. We didn't use the N-word like that. You got to remember, in the late 80s, early 90s, that's what we did. Everything was guard body.
But I just proved my point, and you don't even see it.
No. That's not a geographical thing. That's where we were at mentally.
Okay, but listen, I proved my point, and you don't even see it.
Like God just said, they call each other a fool. That's like in Philly, they say, "What up, nut ass nigga?"
They say what?
In Philly, they say nut ass nigga.
Yo, nah, bro.
What?
I'm not saying that's not what they saying, but nah, you ain't gonna call me no nut ass nigga, bro.
See my point. That's my point exactly.
You ain't gonna call me
like,
that.
What? What did he just? What?
Just like I couldn't be. You calling me a grasshopper? I'm looking like, yo, that's a degrading word to me.
No. That's the old folks terminology. That's like, okay, let me take the point I'm proving. Let me take grasshopper back. That's like the old adage with the old bull and the young bull on top of the hill. And the young bull says to the old bull, hey, it's a passage of sheep down there. Let's run down the hill and Malik, one of them up.
Hey,
and
Malik.
The old bull says, slow down, my son. Let's walk.
Hey, Malik.
And F them all.
Hey, Malik, you're missing what I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying the same thing that you're saying, just in a different way.
Well, I couldn't have said slow down, young boy. I didn't want to say young boy.
You're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing that you're saying, just in a different way. I'm agreeing with you. Because you got a point.
I got facts.
Facts, a point, same thing, Malik.
Yes,
yes, Malik, and you got the win.
No. I'm not.
You got the win, and you can rub Crow and Brooke face. Like, yeah, I told you I got the win.
No, I'm not taking that, and I'm never trying to rub Crow in nobody's face. See right there. That's what you're trying to do. Cause somebody gonna say, "Ooh, Dana said he rubbed Crow in your face," and see right there, somebody gonna say something. She gonna try to gloat.
Man, she already gonna go after what you said. That's why I said we ain't having divorce court over here. Because I guarantee you that she gonna pop up and she gonna say, hit that link, and I'm gonna say, Brooke, I ain't for it, and she gonna get to screaming and hollering about, yeah. Look, no.
Look, we're gonna get back on the topic of the papers. But bless one, did you have to hit me with the bye boo, we love you, hang up? Oh wow. I feel like you just dismissed me in a real polite way. You might have told me, go to your room, young man. Go to your room.
So, man, she brutal. So, what do you think about that? Because you said it seemed like somebody you said it seemed like they trying to throw what'd you say again? If they trying to throw something against the wall or something?
Right. See, okay. I think you said charges 9 through 13 are the least. They hold the least value.
Yeah.
Okay.
They all misdemeanors.
Right. At this point, if you know anything about the feds, is this a state beef he going through?
No.
Okay.
This federal. Okay,
so this is the federal government.
Oh Lord, Toy being messy. Somebody call Brooke now. Look. Look, I will end this live. Oh Lord, I will end this live like, yo, no.
Toy, I love you to death, baby, but stop. Look, Toy, give me my jump rope back. You can't play no more with me. I'm taking my jump rope when I'm going home.
They did this to my mama, man. Y'all did this to my mama. Y'all did this to my mama. I'm going to make y'all motherfucking pay.
Please don't mention Brooke name, but that shit gonna be like Candy, man. She gonna pop up. And what did he say? Nothing, Brooke. Nothing.
Man. Okay, right. So again, is this a federal beef in Chicago or is it the state beef?
Federal.
Okay. So at this point, like I'm saying, they already got him on what they wanted to get him on as far as the RICO. So and anything else is, so they really probably don't care. I mean, you know, sometimes the feds like to do things because they the government and they can just do it. So it seems, or so they believe. You know how when you was growing up, it was always like in Ministry Society, the little boys say, I ain't gonna throw the ball back because he thought he was bigger and tougher. So, you know, the government can be bullies.
Can be?
Yeah.
Or are they?
They can be. That's like, and I'll give you the best example. And everybody socially or worldwide has been talking about, why is it that Jay-Z has gotten this pass that he's gotten this long? Like when you break certain songs down, especially the song God did, he's literally throwing in your face on how he made this money from the drug game, how he washed this money, and then how he turned Aces or champagne into the new drug. How he has legalized marijuana, he getting money. So, you know, like I'm saying to you, as sure as you making a smirk, you've heard God did, and you hear how he talked, and everybody is upset because if you look at it, he's escaped everything they ever tried to come up with him. When they tried to say he stabbed Unnnn, he tried to every time he gets into a brush with the law, he walk out unscathed. Down to the fact where he says and he tells you, yo, me and Meek can never beef. I freed that dude from a whole bid. As soon as Jay got involved, what happened? Meek flies out, courtesy of the Philadelphia Eagles owner, blah blah blah, woo woo woo. He goes straight to the facility. He in the back with Robert Kraft getting a haircut and freshened up. Come on, son. You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't get that carte blanche. So, like in this case, the first time around, he got carte blanche. He got, found not guilty.
You know what I'm gonna do just for you, yo?
Uh-oh.
Just for you. On Friday, we gonna talk Jay-Z talk, okay? And I'm gonna read something that I know you ain't read about Jay-Z. And I want you to elaborate on it. So I want you to grace the panel on Friday. And you're gonna see one of the main reasons why nobody over here likes that man. And we're gonna go line through line.
He let Beyonce go first. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to this, man.
That's what I said. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's get back to this. This is a new affidavit that the government just put in. And it says government submission regarding admissibility of purported business records proposed by defendant Daryl McDavid. It says defendant Daryl McDavid has informed the government of his intention to admit into evidence certain reports and related materials drafted and compiled by private investigator John Jack Palladino. These documents are inadmissible hearsay and are not subject to the business records exception or any other exception to the hearsay rule. For this reason, and because McDavid has not established their relevance, the proffered records should not be admitted in evidence. Oh, these records is going to hurt the government. Say background. Jack Palladino, who died last year, was a private investigator hired to assist in investigating and recovering for defendant Robert Kelly certain videotapes containing visual depictions of Kelly engaging minors in sexual acts. Well, I want them to stop saying that because now we have determined, and it has been determined, that none of that is true. It wasn't no underage, it wasn't no minors or nothing on them tapes. But let's go along. And McDavid has informed the government that he seeks admission and evidence of at least 8 documents or sets of documents, which generally consist of reports drafted and compiled by Mr. Palladino and his associates. In his communication with the government, McDavid proposed admission of the documents as business records of Jack Palladino. In contrast with this description, the documents themselves largely appear to be summaries of interviews and actions taken by Mr. Palladino and his associates for purposes of litigation. The documents include quotations, paraphrasing, and generalized descriptions of statements purported made by witnesses, as well as opinions and commentary from the investigators and others. Also included in the materials are unsigned declarations from Jane and another individual and a bill reflecting descriptions of tasks performed and expenses spanning 5 months. More specifically, the proffered documents and sets of documents include 1. Summaries of telephone conversations with an individual named A.W., a purported victim unrelated to the charged offenses. A brief summary sent to a public relations crisis communications firm describing a private sting operation that targeted persons unrelated to the charged offenses. An unsigned declaration of A.W. 4. A memo to counsel summarizing interviews of Jane and members of her family. 5. An unsigned declaration of Jane. 6. A memo to counsel regarding 2 intermediaries, Chuck Freeman, a witness who has testified in this case, and Charles C. Feeney, who claimed to have knowledge of and the ability to resolve the matter of a gold cross stolen from Kelly. A compilation of documents including memos to counsel and reports summarizing witness interviews conducted in an effort to gather impeachment evidence against Freeman, and invoice purporting to itemize activities and billable hours related to efforts to recover items from Kelly. Oh, that right there throws out everything going on. In proposing admission of these documents, McDavid does not dispute that they constitute hearsay. However, he seeks their admission based on the business records, exceptions set forth in FedR Evidence 8036. But defendant has not and cannot establish that the proffered documents are business records. To the contrary, they fail each of the rigorous requirements of the business records exceptions set forth below and must be excluded. Under federal rule of evidence 8036, evidence is not excluded by the rule against hearsay if it is a record of an act, event, condition, opinion, or diagnosis if A, the record was made at or near the time by or from information transmitted by someone with knowledge. B, the record was kept in the course of a regularly conducted activity of a business, organization, occupation, or calling, whether or not for profit. Wait, ain't that's what Gene Jensen and Jack Palladino was? A business? C, making the record was a regular practice of the activity. D, all these conditions are shown by the testimony of the custodian or another qualified witness, or by a certification that complies with Rule 902.11 or 12, or with a statute permitting certification. And E, the opponent does not show that the source of information or the method or circumstance of preparation indicate a lack of trustworthiness. Go ahead, Malik.
Question. So, is both partners in this firm deceased or just the Jack guy?
Just Jack Palladino. Jack Palladino dead and Gene Jensen is dead.
So that Jack and Gene were who ran the firm, right?
Nope. Gene Jensen was the attorney, and Jack Palladino was the private eye. But mysteriously, Jack Palladino was killed, and so was Linda Minch. She was killed. They both was killed brutally.
So is this? I mean, are those documents even going to be accepted in court?
We don't know yet.
Because it sounds like I'm assuming this was McDavid's trump card, and he has immunity.
Nah, he don't got no immunity. But they trying to charge him with robbery in June. But this is definitely going to shut down anything that everybody said.
If admissible in court, yes.
If the judge allow it, matter of fact, check this out. If the judge continue this case, I don't see why he won't allow this in his courtroom, so that way everybody can hear what Jane said back then. If the government can ask for what Jane said under oath, why can't Daryl McDavid ask for what Jane said in Gene's office?
Because it seemed like to me that McDavid is trying to CYA.
What, cover his tail?
Right. But in this particular case, because you don't have Jack to say yay or nay, all you got is a piece of paper.
But it come from him.
But again, he's not here to say yay or nay.
But it's signed by him.
He's still not here to say, okay, it's just like saying he can't speak up for himself. He's not
okay.
Here.
Watch this. Well, if that's the case, how was the government able to use Arishona father then? He's dead. He ain't here to speak for himself.
just said to you, they do what they want.
Okay, so therefore,
that's what I'm saying to you. That's why I asked you, because I'm unclear on like who's who.
okay,
But by you saying McDavid submitted these to the court through his lawyer, I'm assuming, right?
yeah.
Right. It's as if he's trying to CYA. That's why I asked you.
Well, everybody got a CYA. Everybody got a CYA.
Listen, I'm agreeing with you on that piece. But like I'm saying, it seems like this dude has a Trump card. That's why he gave out this type of information. I'm almost willing to bet somewhere along the lines they offered this cat immunity. That's why he gonna flip.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then it would definitely be a mistrial.
How?
Because that, as they said in federal court, you can't be persuaded by the other party. And if that comes out, then that means that Robert and June is fighting their co-defendant and the government. You can't do that. That's a mistrial.
Okay.
In state court, you can do that, but in federal court, you can't do that.
But see, it's only a mistrial if they go to McDavid and say, McDavid. They don't tell him. But they probably went to him and said, McDavid, if you give us this, and this, we're going to offer you this. We offering you this and this.
I believe that. I believe that.
See, that's why I'm saying to you, if dude gave up this type of information, right, it's clear he's trying to CYA, which nobody has a problem with that. But is he just CYAing, or is he giving up the joint because he got immunity? Once they grant him immunity, pardon my French, he can go in there and say, man, Kelly teabag 10 motherfuckers, peed on 5 motherfuckers, blah, 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 blah. He can say whatever. He got immunity now. Ain't nothing they can do to him. He dancing like you involved in that commercial.
Right.
He got the immunity. That's why I'm saying to you, at this point, it sounds like they just throwing darts at the wall. If somebody hit the bullseye, cool. If they get 10 points, cool. Because they didn't got that RICO. Everything else just pads the RICO. Even if, and I'm not going to say it in a derogatory manner, if he gets blessed and he walks out of this joint right here and say they give him 10 years, they run the 10 years concurrent.
They give him 10 years for what?
I'm just throwing out a number.
Okay.
If they run 10 concurrent, boom, it's all in the 30.
So let's just say he don't get no time from this.
Still got 30.
Nah, but that means that light is going to get shined on New York, because some of the same people from New York, they were the same people in Chicago.
And what they're going to say is 2 different situations.
Nah,
because
it can't be.
what happened is, listen to me now, it's going to be folks in this joint who got immunity, which means they can't go back now.
Right.
So which means even if they lied in NY, you can't put me back on the stand. You gave me immunity. I don't have to do nothing.
Watch this. I totally agree with that. But I'm not saying on the witnesses. This falls back on Ann Donnelly. This falls back on the office, but that prosecuted him in New York.
Right. Now, here's what can happen with that. You ready?
I'm listening.
They're going to shelf it so long because they're going to say he's already stuff along. He's already been sentenced to 30 years.
Well,
so listen, let's just say he beats this by the top of the year. And I'm just using round numbers. So 2023. Okay. He files a motion to have a retrial or however it go to get the case back in NY, put back in case, right?
That's what I'm about to tell you. It's already been filed and it's already been cased.
Okay, so now it's after this, they gonna give that case a trial date, right?
Yeah, but they gonna give
They're gonna offset that date by 2 years.
Okay.
Now, what's gonna happen is the 2 years gonna get offset, right?
Okay.
Some of these people that they was gonna try to get to go to court and wind up disappearing. So the 2-year offset, when you go back, he ain't gonna have the same case. They're gonna offset it again another 18 months.
Well, that'll be listen. Okay, go ahead. That'll be good in state court, right? But when it go to Second Circuit of Appeals, they're not gonna offset it like that.
It's the government, right?
Yeah.
Listen to me. Once you get there, gonna have. Listen to me.
It's a different branch of the government.
They're gonna mysteriously have things that supersede this right here. You there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
They're gonna have cases that supersede this right here. They're gonna have Joe Blow peeing on Donald Trump steps at Mar-a-Lago. They're gonna have somebody tripping Joe Biden. They're gonna have something that supersedes this case going right back in the court. If you think I'm driving, if you heard this morning, now they trying to say something about your man with the documents and your man bop woo woo woo. So now the spotlight is put on that right there. And the spotlight will be right there for 7 days. Then they're gonna find something else to talk about. And matter of fact, this time next week it'll be Marilyn Mosby. Because she gotta go to court.
Mm-hmm. I'll be there for that.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's what they do. Once
Hopefully.
they get you in the joint, now you gotta play on their time. And like I said, if you got cash, if you got people willing to back you, you can expedite some things. Stuff law. Hence, Meek Mills. Once Jigga stepped in, Robert Kraft stepped in, and once you got them billionaires behind you, oh man. Okay, look, we know we ain't got money as long as theirs because they got wealth, meaning they got folks that's gonna back them. Case in point, somebody may know somebody who can say, you know what, we not gonna fund this project y'all got trying to redo or open up the JFK Jr. case all over again. We're gonna take our $80 billion. You know how it works. You know how it works.
I'm listening.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Once they get you with that RICO, they got you.
You sure?
The Teflon Don.
Because I'm documenting this day that Malik said that.
Right.
So the day that Kels beat that RICO in New York from a certain court of appeals, I'm gonna say, I thought they had him.
Okay, say it. But I want you to rewind back because you remember this. The Teflon Don, he was on the front of the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
And every major publication. He ain't had no handcuffs on.
Mm-hmm.
But they had him.
Mm-hmm.
Every time your man go to court, he got them bracelets on, don't he?
So that means that they don't have him.
No, what that mean is that's the difference in power and wealth.
Well,
that's the power you had.
Well, let's go here. Rob ain't gonna kiss ass to them folks. Jay-Z will. Let's not talk. See, that's why I say on Friday, and we're gonna open up a whole can of beans.
Let's do this right here. Let's do this right here. We can talk it on Friday. I gotta take a quick pause. But here's the difference in Jay-Z and R. Kelly. He ain't really got kiss ass right now. Unfortunately, Kelly may have to kiss ass and eat a couple of glizzies. Pause. That's where his hand at right now.
I'll answer that on Friday.
Okay.
Trust me. I'm going to answer and show you.
You ain't got answers to show me.
Who's really doing what right now?
Last I seen Hove,
No.
him and Blue was walking to the Suburban out front with the driver.
That's fine.
Last I seen Kels, he had an orange jumpsuit on.
That's fine.
And I don't even think he had no skates.
That's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to tell you this. Last time I seen Jay-Z put out a real album that didn't need help was Reasonable Doubt. Last time I seen R. Kelly put out a motherfucking album but I didn't need no help was every time he dropped one. I'm just saying. Go look at the best of both worlds, part 1 and part 2. Take Kells off there and tell me what you got. A bullshit ass double up album.
Okay, pardon me. I had to run take care of something real fast. So I just think I heard you say if you take Kells off
listen.
the Both Worlds album, you have what?
Listen, Malik.
Hold on, I couldn't hear that. Run it back.
We're going to talk about it Friday, okay? But what I said was,
I see Brooks said, "What's going on?"
But like I said, if you take Kells off the best of both worlds 1 and 2, you don't have nothing but a bootleg ass double up album. And I'm saying that nicely. But on Friday, I'm not going to hold nothing back. And I'm going to show you the difference of both. Because both of them have pros and cons.
Well, you said you ain't nothing but a bootleg double up album. Okay.
Yo, he's whacked to me. Anybody that have to steal somebody flow, anybody but I got to steal somebody rhymes, you ain't shit.
So is we really doing that one?
Yo, I said Friday, I'm going to entertain you.
But you just did it just now.
I listen.
So now I just want to ask.
I did that to wipe the sweat off your brow.
No, because
on Friday I'm gonna spank your ass and send you back to your wife.
But no, it was just the day before yesterday. You was pubbing this nigga D Rose, right?
Truth, nothing but the truth.
On singing Kelly's song, sounding like Kells, right?
Right, nothing but the truth.
Come on, son.
But listen, it's a difference when D Rose can take a song and redo it as a tribute to Kelly. Jay-Z stole Jazzo flow and didn't give him no tribute. Jay-Z stole motherfucking Jazzo shine and the way his stage and everything didn't give him no tribute. Jay-Z still singing Biggie Smalls lines and ain't giving them but no tribute. Nigga, Tupac said it the best about your man. He's nothing but a fucking Hawaiian Sophie fiend and an imposter, nigga.
You know what?
Let's go there. I gotta put the one song that made Jay-Z pull his tampon out?
I just figured it out.
Ether still runs the world. What have Jay-Z said back to Ether?
I just figured it out.
You ain't figured out because Friday, I'm gonna go there with you. I'm just not gonna do it here. So what I'm gonna say, Emily, because I still got more Kells to do, bro.
No, you do know that Cristal ain't a beer, right?
Listen.
You do know that Cristal ain't a beer, right?
Listen, your wife is here. I don't want her to come on here and zap out on you. So
you do know that Movado is a watch and not a Jamaican singer, right?
Listen. I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to do. But I'm gonna put it to you in perspective. And if anybody know about drug dealing, If anybody know about real shit, they gonna understand this. Without Dame Dash, there wouldn't be a Jay-Z.
Oh my God.
And I'll stand on record. Without Dame Dash, there wouldn't be a Jay-Z. So you trying to change the conversation, and Malik, I'm getting back to Kels, bro.
So without Daniel, there wouldn't be no West Siders?
Listen. You trying to change the conversation, and Malik, I'm getting back to Kels.
Without Dame Dash, oh wow.
I will entertain this on Friday, and I will make you run, and Brooke is going to be like, what happened? Dana spanked my ass again. Yeah, trust me.
Never.
Okay.
If Dame Dash made Hove, why he ain't make another Hove?
Huh?
Yeah, right.
Say it again.
If Dame Dash made Hove, why he ain't make another Hove?
Because the world ain't big enough to have two imposters running around. Then guess what? There'd be a bunch of fakes running around this motherfucker.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass.
Bubblegum ass rappers now?
I'm dead. Look. I'm gonna put you like this. I give you 5 rappers right now. I will give you 5 rappers right now that Jay-Z didn't respond to. And since you're trying to spin it there, ask the question this: why? Number 1, when KRS-One went at him, he said nothing. When Tupac went at him, he said nothing. When 50 went at, nope, he did respond to 50. He did respond to 50. And he said, I'm about $1. Who gives a fuck about 50 Cent? But when Eminem went at him, he said nothing. When DMX went at him, he said nothing. Why? Oh, I got one better. When his son went at him and said, why won't you take the DNA tape? Why won't you take the DNA test? Jay-Z tried to have him killed. Ask yourself that. That's not for me to figure out, because we don't give a fuck about him over here. Now, like I said, we going back to some chaos. So on Friday, please don't duck me out like you did last Friday.
Yeah.
Make sure you come for the smoke this Friday.
Check this out.
Okay? Make sure you come for the smoke this Friday. And then I'm going to say this. The only West Siders I know, and I'm going to keep it a buck, is Corliss and the mighty marching West Siders. So what West Siders you talking about? Because if I last recall, Cambridge, Maryland is not the West Side. That nigga wasn't from Marcy Projects. He was from Cambridge, Maryland. Let's keep it for real. I'll leave it there.
Yo, come on, son.
I'll leave it
there.
All right. Look. Hey, Malik, are we going to see you Friday, okay?
So you named the deceased rapper that was washed up.
Listen.
You named 3 other washed up rappers. The only person you named
hey, Malik.
and M ain't never go at Hove. But yo, why is it that?
Hey, Malik, we'll talk about it Friday, okay?
It seems like
we'll talk about it Friday.
You're really mad, though.
I'm not mad at all.
Like you got in your feelings.
You wanted to keep going, Malik. We would do this Friday.
You got in your feelings.
Bring your tampons with you, though.
Call Thomas. Cut it out.
Hey, I'm emotional. But I'm not emotional about Hove. I'm emotional about Kels.
I'm all choked up. You know sad.
With Jay-Z, I done shitted it out. So Big Pun, don't try it again. I'm just saying.
I would be Big Pun.
I'm just saying. And you called me Carl Thomas, right?
That's I take the Big Pun reference. I take it.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I take it.
So look, let's get back to Kels, bro. This dude. This dude. All right, Malik. we getting back to the Kales, you know, me and bro got into it a little bit, and we talking about music. We talking about music icons. So I'm gonna have to destroy him on Friday. But however, this is what Greenberg said. I'm waiting to hear this. This is what Greenberg said.
And hello, I'm Brad Edwards. Thank you for joining us here in CBSN Chicago. The Stream. On Tuesday, the prosecution rested their case against disgraced R&B star R. Kelly after presenting 2 weeks of evidence to prove the singer enticed underage girls for sex and even produced child pornography. Court proceedings resume Thursday.
Hey, Georgia girl.
First witnesses take the stand. Here to talk about where the case stands, what we can expect from here, is a defense attorney, one of our friends of the Stream, Steve Greenberg. Steve, it is a note here, you also have and currently are still representing R. Kelly, involving the state case here that is still pending, have repped him since 2018. You're keeping a close eye on this one. The first 2 weeks, of course, the U.S. attorney and the federal government laid out a pretty damning case. What are your thoughts on it so far?
Well, I don't think the case has gone as well as the federal government assumed it would go. You know, there's a couple of different components to this case. There's the manufacture or production of child pornography, which allows 3 videotapes or 4 videotapes, but it doesn't exist. They haven't been able to produce it. They haven't been able to find it. On those, they actually have the videotape to produce. Young lady on the videotape came to court and said, that's me on the videotape. So those charges against R. Kelly are troubling and probably he probably won't be able to overcome those. But then there's the other aspect. There's the obstruction of justice counts. Some of them deal with preventing witnesses from cooperating in the earlier state court prosecution. And with those, I think the government's witnesses were not so good. They didn't come forward and say, hey, they paid me to do this. In fact, they said that, well, we were friends with my godfather. He took care of me because he loved me. And then there's some other counts involving some other minors. And again, with the witnesses on those counts, I don't think were very convincing. It's based on the tweets that I read in the newspaper article. Sort of what the government found out here is that the people that were involved in this case were not their normal white-collar witnesses. And anytime I think the feds get involved in what's more akin to street crime or 26 in California stuff, sometimes the witnesses get beat up a bit more than they thought they would.
Defense is now going to come in, and he's got some dogged defense attorneys in the federal case, R. Kelly does. How do you overcome what, by all accounts, is the damning video evidence that some say clearly shows an R. Kelly having sex with clearly underage girls? How do you even begin to overcome that in defense of him?
I don't know, quite frankly, that they can, and I don't know that they're really going to try to do that. I think that it has always been somewhat conceded that the jury was going to see this video, and I don't know that anyone's taken the position that it's not R. Kelly. In the state prosecution, in the 2008 trial, the quality of the video that was used was not as good quality of the video that they're using in this case. Back then, it was much harder to tell that it was R. Kelly, and the young lady in the video did not come forward and say, that's me in the video. In fact, she had given statements saying it wasn't her in the video. Now she says she lied back then. It is her in the video. Her mother also came to court and said it's her in the video. So, sometimes you can't get anywhere with a certain count on a case, and that might be the case here. And the question is just, what can you do to mitigate the overall damage in the bigger picture?
So that what it may be looking at now. Of course, Mr. Kelly, your client in the state case is facing decades in prison already for a conviction in New York. Kind of play this out, get into the weeds for me here. He faces similar charges except on you know, basically that he bribed the witness in a former trial, you know, he subverted justice, but it's basically similar. The worst crimes are similar to what he's already been convicted of in federal court in New York. If he were to be found guilty, wouldn't these be served concurrently? Wouldn't they be served at the same time? You know, what's the government's gain here?
Brad. That's completely up to the judge. In any federal case, the judge has the discretion to make things concurrent or consecutive. Look, on the New York case, he got 30 years. He's going to be 81 or 82 years old when he gets out of jail. If he has to serve all of that time, maybe he'll be in his late 70s. I doubt if the 85-year-old judge in this case would pile on to that. Here's a man who has lost everything professionally and everything personally. As far as the charges, I think the charges here are frankly different than the charges there. The charges there were the actual sex acts themselves that were charged. The sex acts aren't charged here. What's charged here is the filming of the sex acts. And it's maybe a semantical difference, but it is a difference.
Okay, duly noted on those differences. And another question for you. You will defend R. Kelly, are continuing to serve as his defense attorney in the state cases. There is a state case here that is ongoing, and there could potentially be a state case that is brought in Minnesota, depending a lot on what likely happens in this federal case. I mean, a question for you is, have you had any contact with Mr. Kelly? Does R. Kelly ever believe he will one day be free, exonerated, or not be in a courtroom facing some type of charge or allegation?
You know, he's got very good lawyers. You said they're dogged lawyers. We like to think that we're dogged lawyers and we fight hard for our clients. Mike Leonard and I, who were on the New York case until some people got in Robert's ear, we were absolutely convinced we were going to win that case, in which case he would not be facing 30 years now. Absolutely convinced that we would prevail on the state court cases. I've looked at the evidence. I understand what's involved. I understand the allegations. And as far as the appeal of the New York case, it's very interesting because what they did was they took a bunch of small acts that weren't really, you know, they were illegal, but they weren't the crime of the century. Usually when you've got a racketeering case, you've got a gang or the mob, and they've said the gang has committed 7 murders and 3 kidnappings, and they've been selling kilos of drugs, and so on and so forth. With Kelly's case, what they said was he didn't disclose to someone he had herpes. That's a misdemeanor. He got a fake ID for someone. That's a misdemeanor. They took all these relatively minor things and blew them up into a RICO case, and then the government only asked for 20 years, and the judge gave him 30. There are a whole host of, and I won't bore everyone with the nitty-gritty, but of good appellate issues on the New York case, and I frankly believe that if the Second Circuit Court of Appeals has any courage, they will do the right thing and they will overturn that verdict and say that this is a gross abuse of the racketeering laws. It's not what was intended. What they're doing in a lot of these cases, Brad, if I can pontificate for a minute, is they're going back in time and they're trying to apply 2022 or 2020 outlooks and values to things that happened long ago. It happened, and I know I'll take a lot of heat for this, but it happened to Weinstein, it happened to Bill Cosby, it's happening to R. Kelly. And I think it's unfair. I think that looking at things with hindsight, you know, there was a time when women weren't allowed to vote. There was a time when African Americans weren't allowed to mingle with white people. We now know that all of that was wrong, but we're not going back and criminally charging people for those kinds of acts. And I understand it's different, but you're going back and you're applying today's values and the way we look at things today to things that happened decades ago when not only Kelly looked at it differently, but the alleged victims looked at it differently, their parents looked at it differently, everyone's friends looked at it differently. And that's really, you know, this is the greatest hindsight prosecution that I've ever seen.
It is noted that many do think there are some appealable issues in the New York case, but you know, and I appreciate what you're saying, but it's really, you know, unarguable that R. Kelly is seen having sex with a minor that he taped.
Right.
It doesn't matter how old the video is. I mean,
no. I'm distinguishing that from the rest of the case. But the other stuff, the obstruction, they've known about that stuff for years. There's a very good statute of limitations argument that the defendants have raised, that the obstruction was complete when the 2008 trial came back with its verdict. And that now to prosecute him for the obstruction violates the statute of limitations. Look, I'm never going to say having sex with a 14-year-old is okay. And I think that had they just sought to prosecute him for that, maybe there wouldn't have been a need for a trial. But they're really piling on with this guy, all because of this documentary. And what happened in this case was some of the witnesses, in this case, in the New York case, came right out and said, we lied in the documentary. Things weren't what we said in the documentary. It's really an unfair prosecution on many levels. Has he done things wrong? Yes. Did he violate the law? Yes. Should he never have had sex with a 14-year-old? Yes. Should he never have filmed it? Yes. Should he be prosecuted for that? Yes. And frankly, he would have been much better off in hindsight had he lost the 2008 trial. Weren't what we said in the documentary. It's really an unfair prosecution on many levels. Has he done things wrong? Yes. Did he violate the law? Yes. Should he never have had sex with a 14-year-old? Yes. Should he never have filmed it? Yes. Should he be prosecuted for that? Yes. And frankly, he would have been much better off in hindsight had he lost the 2008 trial.
that's an interesting point. And, you know, the R. Kelly, his supporters and his defenders, you being his defense attorney, will say this is definitely a case of piling on. Federal charges, RICO charges, like you said, in New York. Now, the different charges here, federal charges here, then potentially state charges here, then potentially state charges in Minneapolis.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
And Brad, New York had nothing to do with any of this. If you look at the New York charges, there was one time he had sex with someone in New York who was an adult, but he didn't disclose that he had herpes. That was the connection to New York. Everything else in that case took place in Illinois, California, Florida, New Jersey. It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Once again, Steve Greenberg, R. Kelly's defense attorney in the state case. The key question here, with all the charges that he's facing, really anyone who's been in the courtroom says it comes down to the videotapes. And videotapes clearly show an older R. Kelly having sex with clearly underage girls. Is there any way the defense is going to be able to lay out a case that overcomes that video evidence?
The only way that he's getting out of those charges, and he was in his 20s at the time, is if the jurors are the world's biggest R. Kelly fans, and just want to cover it. I mean, honestly, I don't know there's a way around those charges, given the video which I watched and the testimony that they now have. But the rest of these guys got a fighting chance. Those co-defendants have a fighting chance.
Yeah. So you will then, when you come back into the fold, will you come back into the fold automatically, or I know the state case is ongoing now, but do you expect a decision will be made to go forward or not with the state case, depending on what happens in this second federal trial?
We were in court this morning on the state case, and the judge raised that very question. I think the answer to that question is up to Kim Foxx and what she wants to do after she sees what happens in the federal trial. We have raised some double jeopardy issues in relation to the state prosecution because some of it is duplicitous with the federal case, but there's 4 cases and they're not all duplicitous. So that lays at the feet of Kim Foxx if she wants to go ahead and with those cases.
Will there be any double jeopardy issues if he is convicted now in the federal case on what he was exonerated in 2008 in the state case, or will there be no appealable issue there?
So there's a doctrine called the separate sovereign doctrine. Defense attorneys we all hate it. The Supreme Court looked at it a couple of years ago and left it into place. The separate sovereign doctrine says that the federal government is a different government than every state government. So it's as if the federal government is a different country than from the states. You could be prosecuted in state court and prosecuted for the same thing in federal court. That's why you saw Derek Chauvin in Minnesota get prosecuted on the George Floyd thing. Or they get prosecuted in state court, they get prosecuted in federal court. You've seen that with the Breonna Taylor case in Atlanta, where they get a civil rights. It's a little bit different charge, and the Supreme Court has said as long as there's that little difference, it's permissible.
Yeah, you see in a lot of cases now with a murder charge examples in state cases, like you said, and then like the federal hate crime statute. Steve Greenberg, we appreciate your insight. We will have you on in the next couple of weeks, friend of the stream. R. Kelly's defense attorney in the state case now, been defending him since 2018. We appreciate you talking with us about the ongoing R. Kelly trial as the defense now begins their case, their presentation, their defense of R. Kelly. This in his second federal trial taking place here in Chicago. Of course, a story that we have been out in front of and will continue to be out in front of now. Thank you for joining us on the stream. I'm Brad Edwards. Now back to the stream.
I can't believe what I heard. I can't believe what just came out of his mouth. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So what I'm hearing now is pretty much This dude is upset. This dude is crazy. And it goes to show that he haven't been keeping up with what was going on in trial. I'll make sure I send this over to some folks. I'll make sure. Hold on. Give me a second, sis. I'm calling when I get off. Okay. I'm gonna be real with you. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Is for Greenberg to represent him in state case, I wouldn't even feel comfortable after hearing that interview. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And because Robert chose to go with Nicole, I see Greenberg as salty. Or is this whole thing about money? Is this whole thing about money? But I'm going to send that over to some folks. I'm going to see with 2 S's. Yeah, I'm going to see what can be done about this Greenberg situation. Wow. 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 You know, I want to listen to this again, just to make sure I didn't hear what I thought I heard. Hold on. And then after I hear this again, I'm gonna take me a break. Nope, I ain't gonna take a break. I'm gonna show some stuff that's really gonna piss me off, and it's gonna lead me to rumble tonight. I'm thankful to have a sponsor. I'm definitely thankful to have a sponsor. But I just can't believe what I heard. I didn't Greenberg. We're gonna go there. I want to listen to it again.
And hello, I'm Brad Edwards. Thank you for joining us here in CBSN Chicago. The Stream. On Tuesday, the prosecution rested their case against disgraced R&B star R. Kelly after presenting 2 weeks of evidence to prove the singer enticed underage girls for sex and even produced child pornography. Court proceedings resume Thursday when the defense's first witnesses take the stand. Here to talk about where the case stands, what we can expect from here, is a defense attorney, one of our friends of the stream, Steve Greenberg. Steve, it is a note here. You also have and currently are still representing R. Kelly involving the state case here that is still pending. Have repped him since 2018. You're keeping a close eye on this one. The first 2 weeks, of course, the U.S. attorney and the federal government laid out a pretty damning case. What are your thoughts on it so far?
Well, I don't think the case has gone as well as the federal government assumed it would go. You know, there's a couple of different components to this case. There's the manufacture or production of child pornography, which involves 3 videotapes. There's a 4th videotape, but it doesn't exist. They haven't been able to produce it. They haven't been able to find it. On those, they actually have the videotape to produce. Young lady on the videotape came to court and said, "That's me on the videotape." So those charges against R. Kelly are troubling, and probably he probably won't be able to overcome those. But then there's the other aspects. There's the obstruction of justice counts. Some of them deal with preventing witnesses from cooperating in the earlier state court prosecution. And with those, I think the government's witnesses were not so good. They didn't come forward and say, hey, they paid me to not do this. In fact, they said that, well, we were friends. He was my godfather. He took care of me because he loved me. And then there's some other counts involving some other minors. And again, the witnesses on those counts, I don't think were very convincing, based on the tweets that I read in the newspaper articles. Sort of what the government found out here is that the people that were involved in this case were not their normal white-collar witnesses. And anytime I think the feds get involved in what's more akin to street crime or 26 in California stuff, sometimes the witnesses get beat up a bit more than they thought they would have.
Defense is now going to come in, and he's got some dogged defense attorneys in the federal case, R. Kelly does. How do you overcome what, by all accounts, is the damning video evidence that some say clearly shows an R. Kelly having sex with clearly underage girls? How do you even begin to overcome that in defense of him?
I don't know, quite frankly, that they can, and I don't know that they're really going to try to do that. I think that it has always been somewhat conceded that the jury was going to see this video, and I don't know that anyone's taking the position that it's not R. Kelly. In the state prosecution, in the 2008 trial, the quality of the video that was used was not as good as the quality of the video that they're using in this case. Back then, it was much harder to tell that it was R. Kelly. And that they're using in this case. Back then, it was much harder to tell that it was R. Kelly. And the young lady in the video did not come forward and say, that's me in the video. In fact, she had given statements saying it wasn't her in the video. Now she says she lied back then. It is her in the video. Her mother also came to court and said it's her in the video. So, sometimes you can't get anywhere with a certain count on a case, and that might be the case here, and the question is just what can you do to mitigate the overall damage in the bigger picture.
So that what it may be looking at now. Of course, Mr. Kelly, your client in the state case, is facing decades in prison already for a conviction in New York. Kind of play this out, get into the weeds for me here. He faces similar charges, except on basically that he bribed the witness in a former trial. He subverted justice, but it's basically similar. The worst crimes are similar to what he's already been convicted of in federal court in New York. If he were to be found guilty, wouldn't these be served concurrently? Wouldn't they be served at the same time? What's the
That's up to
government's
the
game
judge,
here?
Brad. That's completely up to the judge. In any federal case, the judge has the discretion to make things concurrent or consecutive. Look, on the New York case, he got 30 years. He's going to be 81 or 82 years old when he gets out of jail. If he has to serve all of that time, maybe he'll be in his late 70s. I doubt if the 85-year-old judge in this case would pile on to that. Here's a man who has lost everything professionally and everything personally. As far as the charges, I think the charges here are frankly different than the charges there. The charges there were the actual sex acts themselves that were charged. The sex acts aren't charged here. What's charged here is the filming of the sex acts. And it's maybe a semantical difference, but it is a difference.
Okay, duly noted on those differences. And another question for you. You will defend R. Kelly, are continuing to serve as his defense attorney in the state cases. There is a state case here that is ongoing, and there could potentially be a state case that is brought in Minnesota, depending a lot on what likely happens in this federal case. I mean, a question for you is, have you had any contact with Mr. Kelly? Does R. Kelly ever believe he will one day be free, exonerated, or not be in a courtroom facing some type of charge or allegation?
You know, he's got very good lawyers. You said they're dogged lawyers. We like to think that we're dogged lawyers and we fight hard for our clients. Mike Leonard and I, who were on the New York case until some people got in Robert's ear, we were absolutely convinced we were going to win that case, in which case he would not be facing 30 years now. Absolutely convinced that we would prevail on the state court cases. I've looked at the evidence. I understand what's involved. I understand the allegations. And as far as the appeal of the New York case, it's very interesting because what they did was they took a bunch of small acts that weren't really.
Greenberg, that's not what he asked you. He asked you, do you talk to R. Kelly? Have y'all noticed Greenberg never answered that? Pay attention.
It's the sex acts. And it's maybe a semantical difference, but it is a difference.
Okay, duly noted on those differences. And another question for you. You will defend R. Kelly, are continuing to serve as his defense attorney in the state cases. There is a state case here that is ongoing, and there could potentially be a state case that is brought in Minnesota, depending a lot on what likely happens in this federal case. I mean, a question for you is, have you had any contact with Mr. Kelly? Does R. Kelly ever believe he will one day be free, exonerated, or not be in a courtroom facing some type of charge or allegation?
You know, he's got very good lawyers. You said they're dogged lawyers. We like to think that we're dogged lawyers and we fight hard for our clients. Mike Leonard and I, who were on the New York case until some people got in Robert's ear, we were absolutely convinced we were going to win that case, in which case he would not be facing 30 years now. Absolutely convinced that we would prevail on the state court cases. I've looked at the evidence. I understand what's involved. I understand the allegations. And as far as the appeal of the New York case, it's very interesting because what they did was they took a bunch of small acts that weren't really, you know, they were illegal, but they weren't the crime of the century. Usually when you've got a racketeering case, you've got a gang or the mob, and they've said the gang has committed 7 murders and 3 kidnappings, and they've been selling kilos of drugs and so on and so forth. With Kelly's case, what they said was he didn't disclose to someone he had herpes. That's a misdemeanor. He got a fake ID for someone. That's a misdemeanor. They took all these relatively minor things and blew them up into a RICO case, and then the government only asked for 20 years, and the judge gave him 30. There are a whole host of, and I won't bore everyone with the nitty-gritty, but of good appellate issues on the New York case. And I frankly believe that if the Second Circuit Court of Appeals has any courage, they will do the right thing and they will overturn that verdict and say that this is a gross abuse of the racketeering laws. It's not what was intended. What they're doing in a lot of these cases, Brad, if I can pontificate for a minute, is they're going back in time and they're trying to apply 2022 or 2020 outlooks and values to things that happened long ago. It happened, and I know I'll take a lot of heat for this, but it happened to Weinstein, it happened to Bill Cosby, it's happening to R. Kelly. And I think it's unfair. I think that looking at things with hindsight, you know, there was a time when women weren't allowed to vote. There was a time when African Americans weren't allowed to mingle with white people. We now know that all of that was wrong, but we're not going back and criminally charging people for those kinds of acts. And I understand it's different, but you're going back and you're applying today's values and the way we look at things today to things that happened decades ago when not only Kelly looked at it differently, but the alleged victims looked at it differently, their parents looked at it differently, everyone's friends looked at it differently. And that's really, you know, this is the greatest hindsight prosecution that I've ever seen.
It is noted that many do think there are some appealable issues in the New York case, but and I appreciate what you're saying, but it's really unarguable that R. Kelly is seen having sex with a minor that he taped.
Right.
It doesn't matter how old the video is. I mean,
no. I'm distinguishing that from the rest of the case. But the other stuff, the obstruction, they've known about that stuff for years. There's a very good statute of limitations argument that the defendants have raised that the obstruction was complete when the 2008 trial came back with its verdict. And that now to prosecute him for the obstruction violates the statute of limitations. Look, I'm never going to say having sex with a 14-year-old is okay. And I think that had they just sought to prosecute him for that, maybe there wouldn't have been a need for a trial. But they're really piling on with this guy, all because of this documentary. And what happened in this case was some of the witnesses, in this case, in the New York case, came right out and said, we lied in the documentary. Things weren't what we said in the documentary. It's really an unfair prosecution on many levels. Has he done things wrong? Yes. Did he violate the law? Yes. Should he never have had sex with a 14-year-old? Yes. Should he never have filmed it? Yes. Should he be prosecuted for that? Yes. And frankly, he would have been much better off in hindsight had he lost the 2008 trial.
That's an interesting point. And, the R. Kelly, his supporters and his defenders, you being his defense attorney, will say this is definitely a case of piling on. Federal charges, RICO charges, like you said, in New York. Now, the different charges here, federal charges here, then potentially state charges here, then potentially state charges in Minneapolis.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
And Brad, New York had nothing to do with any of this. If you look at the New York charges, there was one time he had sex with someone in New York who was an adult, but he didn't disclose that he had herpes. That was the connection to New York. Everything else in that case took place in Illinois, California, Florida, New Jersey. It had nothing to do with them.
Yeah. Once again, Steve Greenberg, R. Kelly's defense attorney in the state case. The key question here, with all the charges that he's facing, really anyone who's been in the courtroom says it comes down to the videotapes. And videotapes clearly show an older R. Kelly having sex with clearly underage girls. Is there any way the defense is going to be able to lay out a case that overcomes that video evidence?
The only way that he's getting out of those charges, and he was in his 20s at the time, is if the jurors are the world's biggest R. Kelly fans and they just want to cut him a break. I mean, in all honesty, I don't know there's a way around those charges, given the video which I've watched and the testimony that they now have. But the rest of it, he's got a fighting chance, and his co-defendants have a fighting chance.
Yeah. So you will then, when do you come back into the fold? Will you come back into the fold automatically, or I know the state case is ongoing now, but do you expect a decision will be made to go forward or not with the state case, depending on what happens in the second federal trial?
We were in court this morning on the state case, and the judge raised that very question. I think the answer to that question is up to Kim Foxx and what she wants to do after she sees what happens in the federal trial. We have raised some double jeopardy issues in relation to the state prosecution, because some of it is duplicitous with the federal case, but there's 4 cases and they're not all duplicitous. So that lays at the feet of Kim Foxx if she wants to go ahead and with those cases.
Will there be any double jeopardy issues if he is convicted now in the federal case on what he was exonerated in 2008 in the state case, or is there will there be no appealable issue there?
So there's a doctrine called the separate sovereign doctrine. Defense attorneys, we all hate it. The Supreme Court looked at it a couple of years ago and left it in place. The separate sovereign doctrine says that the federal government is a different government than every state government. So it's as if the federal government is a different country than from the states. You can be prosecuted in state court and prosecuted for the same thing in federal court. That's why you saw Derek Chauvin in Minnesota get prosecuted on the George Floyd thing, or they get prosecuted in state court, they get prosecuted in federal court. You've seen that with the Breonna Taylor case in Atlanta, where they get a civil rights. It's a little bit different charge, and the Supreme Court has said as long as there's that little difference, it's permissible.
Yeah, you see it in a lot of cases now with a murder charge examples in state cases, like you said, and then like the federal hate crime statute. Steve Greenberg, we appreciate your insight. We will have you on in the next couple of weeks, friend of the stream. R. Kelly's defense attorney in the state case now. I've been defending him since 2018. We appreciate you talking with us about the ongoing R. Kelly trial as the defense now begins their case, their presentation, their defense of R. Kelly. This in his second federal trial taking place here in Chicago. Of course, a story that we have been out in front of and will continue to be out in front of. For now, thank you for joining us on the stream. I'm Brad Edwards. Now back to the stream.
Excuse me. I'm taking my time with this because, excuse me, he pretty much threw a signal to the government that he believes everything they saying is right. And he's sitting back, giving interviews, saying Robert did this, Robert did that, Robert did this, and he's trying to fast talk. I'm not understanding. Okay. Breonna Taylor case wasn't in Atlanta, first thing. Second thing, Derek Chauvin did not get tried for the same thing in state court that he got tried for in federal court. Third thing, there were no minors on the tape. That was proven in court. Greenberg, what tape did you watch? Because the federal government said they couldn't authenticate any tape, so they decided to throw it out. So I'm lost. But what I do know is that once Bonjean finishes the federal trials, she's going to the state. I do know that. I do know Bonjean is not going to let Robert go to the wolves and state. I do know that. Now, I don't know why the state case is going on, because federal cases have precedents, and Robert can't go to no state cases. Robert can't even make a decision on his lawyers right now because he's tied up in federal. So I get it. Certain people don't want to work with certain people and they want things to go their way. I get it. But Greenberg don't need to be on this case. He don't need to be on any other case for Robert. Your time has come to an end in my book. And I don't have nothing against Greenberg. I just think his defense strategy sucks. And that's not how you defend somebody that have multiple allegations of him doing things you are saying that he's doing. So now watch. In about 4 hours, I expect Larry and the whole Oak Cove to come on and say, his lawyer even said that he did it. I expect that. But one thing you got to understand, him and Avenatti was going back and forth about Daryl Johnson. So if they going back and forth comfortably on the internet about Daryl Johnson, what do you expect? First of all, somebody I know or friends with that brought up crazy charges about somebody I'm defending. I'm not going back and forth on the internet about that. I'm not even talking to you. I'm just saying. This whole thing is crazy. Right. That part right there, Alan. I thought I seen Love Bug in here. Hey, Love Bug, what's up? What's going on? He's just sitting back. He's just bitter like him. Okay. I can't disagree with that. But let's go here. If you're in the Atlanta area, come to Smoky Bones. Smoky Bones is a new chicken restaurant in Atlanta. And they serving some nice little wings. You know what I'm saying? Smoky Bones is a wings restaurant and has revealed its fall menu. The menu includes a full slate of entrees, cocktails, and appetizers. Appetizers include house-made buffalo chicken chips and panda style pulled pork fried pie. Some of the entrees are the Meat Master sandwich, made with smoked meatloaf, bacon, jalapeno cheddar sausage, onion tanglers, and cheese sauce. And the rib feast, a rack of St. Louis style ribs. Guests can double the rib feast into a full rack big enough for two. The restaurant also revealed several cocktails headlined by the Screaming Blues cocktails. Screaming Blues is made with Rum Haven coconut rum, De Cooper Blue Sriracha, Monin Margarita Mix, Real Passion Fruit Puree, and Pineapple Juice. It comes in a refillable mug. The Smoky Bones Fall menu is available right now through November the 14th. So if you're in Atlanta, come to Smoke Bones and everything. It's right there. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm about to get up off here. And I've decided to go on Rumble tomorrow night instead of tonight. Because I got some documents I got to take. I got to fill out and stuff. So I got to make sure that's good. And I got some things I got to do. I totally agree with y'all. Greenberg has done too much. And I wouldn't even deal with that type of energy. Let's see what y'all saying before I get up out of here. He trying to throw them for a loophole of what they can try. Right then, I wouldn't be going back and forth. Heck no. I agree. He has done too much. Too much that has not worked in the favor of Mr. Kelly. Facts. And as his attorney and as his client, why is he even speaking? He shouldn't be out speaking against that case, holding interviews. No way. But he knows what he's doing. Well, he's the most unprofessional lawyer. He's the most unprofessional lawyer I've ever seen. Okay. I know not to get Greenberg as my lawyer. And I'm going to be honest, everybody should be talking about this. You know, I'm going to say this. These lawyers are funny, man. They real funny. Sounds like a meet and greet location. Yeah. They had one in Orlando. Levi was right. DJ D Money. Hey. Dana, you going to flute me out so I can eat from New York City? Hey, let's make it happen. Good night, everyone. Oh, okay. Good night, Wally. Greenberg is counseled the Nino Brown's way. Oh, wow. All right, need to shut up. He's a part of them. Shawnee, you absolutely right. Shawnee, you absolutely right. Attorney-client privilege. So why is he speaking out? I never thought about that, Sweet Pea. Bonji, you need to shut him up. He is showing us he was never for RSK. Facts. So with that being said, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. Y'all be blessed. And remember, if nobody love y'all, then Dana J definitely love y'all. Okay? And like I said, y'all could have been anywhere in the world. But y'all chose to hang with me today. And with that being said,